Hey, crew. Welcome back to another episode of the Skippy Report. On this episode, I sit down with my friend Stefan Bagnato, presently living in Albany, New York, and we talk about his journey into telemark skiing, how he was attracted to it, and furthering it into racing, making the USTSA developmental team, and then later the A team, qualifying him to race in the World Cup overseas in Europe. Anyways, we go back 11 years, I think. Yeah, so grab yourself a beverage and enjoy the episode. Good morning.
Hey, how's it going, Keith?
It's going well. Yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good.
That's good. What's new and exciting?
New and exciting. Summer's finally here, that's for sure. This heat wave's coming
This is great. This is the first day of summer.
in.
And welcome to the Skippy Report.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I kind of thought, you know what? It was your first time in a World Cup race. We got to get your story, man.
Well, it was my second year, but yeah.
Oh,
this
was
year
it?
was a little while
Oh,
ago.
I must have
This was
missed.
year two, but last year was a brief stint.
Oh, was it? Okay. All right. So, may as well get this started. Tell the listeners who you are.
All right. Stefan Bagnato. I live in the Albany, New York area. I'm a geologist by education and work. And in my free time, I like to do some telemark skiing.
And how did you get into telemark skiing?
Um, I've been skiing since I was a kid. I started when I was four. My parents were big skiers. Skied with my family a lot, and then in college we
Now,
did a geology kind of
did you grow up in Albany?
no, I grew up in Tarrytown, New York, outside New York City.
Okay.
Yeah, so we skied a lot, like in the Catskills and the Berkshires in Massachusetts, and then with family in Vermont.
Nice. Sorry, I
Yeah,
interrupted you, so
yeah,
continue.
no, no worries. Yeah, we had in college we had I think my senior year we had like a geology department like ski day. We were all out there. One of my professors was skiing telemark and he was killing it and we were all just kind of in awe of what he was doing there. And by the end of the day, I said, "You got to teach me how to do this, man. This is awesome. I want to learn."
S-
And
So you've
and
been
that he
telemarking how long then?
almost 25 years.
Okay. That's about the same as
Yeah.
me. I think I'm just a tad longer than that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he was on a sabbatical the following year. We were writing up a paper on my senior thesis, and we had a lot of free time to work on that paper and do some telemark skiing. So we skied a lot that year, and I still ski with him, from time to time.
And where'd you go
Yeah,
to school? Where'd you go to college?
I went to school at Union College in Schenectady.
Okay. Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I like all the backstories. You know, this is about telemark skiing mostly, but sometimes the
Yeah,
backstories are pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah. He kind of got me hooked, and then I started kind of exploring it on my own. By the time I got my own gear, then I started doing a lot more, obviously, and
right.
yeah, if I finally wanted to get some kind of take it to the next level, I tried to get a little bit more instruction from some other people, and I caught wind of the tele camp being open to the public or whatever. That was the year I met you, I think.
That was at Mount
20
Snow, correct?
Yeah, correct. Mount Snow back in 2016. Yeah, and I went into it thinking I'll just learn something from some people that are really good, and
Yep.
didn't realize I'd be sucked down the rabbit hole from there.
Oh, I got sucked down the rabbit hole too, but not through racing, just through instruction, that sort of stuff. But
Yeah, yeah. I never raced as a kid, so I kind of got a late start to it. So
right.
it's been fun to kind of ride that trajectory where I'm still kind of constantly improving
So
and learning a
that's going to
lot.
lead me to some questions because I didn't ski race as a kid either because I was a Nordic
Yeah.
skier, and only because my family, you know, listeners who hear this, they've heard it before. My family didn't have a car till I was 9 years old because we couldn't afford it. We did everything on the bus, and we didn't live in an urban area. We lived on the outskirts of like suburbia, so
Yeah.
it's what it was. But I often wondered because racing and setting up turns and I still don't get it even though I raced. And I just know, no, don't be turning at the gate. You need to be turning well before the gate and looking a couple of gates
Yeah.
down the course.
Yeah. I mean, it's a constant learning process, and I still I still don't have the mileage in the gates that most people that I'm competing against do, and so it's always trying to get more practice, more mileage, more better kind of vision and foresight and looking ahead and all that kind of stuff.
So how often do you practice, or do you mostly just practice with the national team? Because we have to say what you're part of. We haven't said that yet.
Yeah. So I joined after that training camp in 2016. I kind of, like I said, I got sucked down the rabbit hole. I joined the U.S. Telemark team on the development team that year, and then progressed onto the Masters team. And then after COVID, I sort of kind of stepped up my training a lot because my company didn't really care if people came back to the office full time and kind of embraced that hybrid work kind of model, and it gave me a lot of opportunity to put more effort and time into my training.
Right.
And then I do a lot of work on my own, obviously, like a lot of people do, but also I do a lot of U.S. ski and snowboard masters racing, and there's some
Okay.
training groups associated with that I train with. But it's still working full time. It's hard to get out
It is.
and train a lot. So I mean, if I can run gates once a week, that's a pretty good week for me.
Right. Right.
And then I'll ski on the weekend with my
You'll
wife.
you'll love retirement.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
For sure. Yeah. And so then I because of that extra training, I got a lot of improvement in those years. In 2022, I had a really good season at nationals. I did pretty well and kind of earned that spot onto the A team.
right.
And was kind of earned that right to go race World Cup.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I also tore my shoulder apart that year, and
Oh,
I didn't ski in 2023.
right. That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
So,
I came back in 2024, and I went over to race World Cup. I raced at Milksy Fruit in Switzerland.
and how many
Um,
races did you do there?
there were three races, classic and two parallels.
Right.
Um, I didn't qualify for the parallels each day, but I just I got to do the qualifier, which was
Right.
still good experience.
Yep. And then this year you were over for a little longer.
Yeah. I met up with Farley and Sarah over there, and we trained in Les Houches with everybody on the international crew there for a few days, and then went to Lake Contamine for World Championships for about a week,
Nice.
and then just went over to Tion in Switzerland for World Cup finals
Right.
for another week or so.
Right. Now I
Yeah,
was.
really, really
It's.
awesome experience.
I bet. So, your impression of, did you race on the development team in Vermont when the World Cup came to Vermont?
I wasn't good enough. I'm not sure if I was even technically allowed to race, but I
Oh,
was there.
okay.
I watched the races at Suicide Six.
Yeah.
I wasn't at Sugarbush.
Right. Okay. So, because I was just going to ask your impressions between race, if you had raced there and racing in Europe. So, let's talk about your first year racing in Europe. Like, you're a newbie arriving on the scene. The
I'm a
scene.
45-year-old newbie. Yeah, it was a little strange. Yeah, I mean, like what was really cool. I noticed right away was the telemark community. Whether you're skiing recreationally or with the best racers in the world, it's an awesome community, welcoming, nice, friendly, fun people, and it was nice for me to because I felt so awkward there. Everybody was so awesome and welcoming, and Seb and the whole international crew there,
Yeah.
kind of welcoming with open arms, and I gotta say the Milksy Fruit races were super intimidating. That's a pretty steep,
Is it?
gnarly course.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it like the Kitzbühel of Telemark, and
Oh, wow.
I found out afterward that it was considered the hardest classic course on the circuit. So it was a tough one for my first race.
Into the frying pan or out of the frying pan
Yeah,
into the fire, right?
yeah, for sure. But it was fun. It was a good experience.
Now, just so that we know, like how the pitch, where have you skied in the U.S. that might have something of a similar pitch?
I went back and looked at the kind of the stats of like elevation and distance kind of stuff, and it's pretty similar to Superstar at Killington
Oh, okay,
overall.
very
I
nice.
mean, it's a little bit more narrow, a little bit more windy
Yeah,
of a trail,
right.
but yeah, those stats are pretty similar.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've never skied Superstar. You know what? This year was the first year I ventured quite a ways south. I went to help a friend. She wanted to learn the telemark, and she had the same boot size as my wife, and we always travel with 2 sets of gear. And I said, I'll come down and I'll teach you. So it's like 3 hours from the cottage, and it's like Jay Peak is less than an hour. Why would I go all the way down,
Yeah.
ski in the mountains down there? So, but it was gorgeous. We skied at Pico,
Nice.
Yeah, it was. I liked it. It's like an old school place.
Yeah, I like Pico a lot. I actually skied there a lot when I was learning because there used to be a Telemark shop in Rutland
Oh, really?
that's since closed. Yeah, the owners retired a few years
Uh,
ago, but yeah, I used to rent from them and get advice and stuff like that from them, and that was a cool spot to be.
Very cool. Very cool.
Do you
So
ski J Peak a lot?
I haven't lately because we have a pass at a mountain that's 15 miles away. It's right like they look at each other, and my pass for the season is $229. Yeah, and that's skiing Monday to Friday.
Yeah, that's not
So
bad.
yeah, we'll cross country ski or snowshoe on the weekends. I don't need to be where there are crowds.
Yep.
But yeah, we do ski. It's on our Indy Pass. But yeah, me growing up in Montreal, when I did alpine ski for a bit, and then with our daughters, we would ski at J all the time because they had really good deals back in the day. And
Yeah.
this is the OG J Peak.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't been there in a long time, but I remember skied there a few times when I was like maybe in high school with my family and stuff like that. And at the time they used to charge the same amount of money, US and Canadian, the same actual dollar amount. So
Yeah,
we'd like change our money
yeah.
and
We
then buy
we
it with Canadian money.
yeah we would just show our driver's license or whatever, and we get our lift tickets. So I think at the time it was like $65 Canadian to ski J. It's like yeah, and they always had great deals. It was like $99. You get accommodation, a lift ticket, breakfast and supper. You are on your own for lunch. I was like, what? $99? This is nuts. Yeah, no, we ski all through, or have skied all throughout the Northeast. One of my favorite places is the Balsams Wilderness, which is put in mothballs for a while because it's kind of out there. It's it's in Dixville Notch, and it's part of
Okay.
a big grand hotel that's like Bretton Woods.
Okay.
Yeah, and they consider it a busy place if there's 25 cars in the parking lot. Yeah, and if you're a local, you go to the grocery store, buy something, and on the back of the receipt tape, there's a deal for 2-for-1 skiing.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so we'd go and take our family there. The four of us, we'd ski for $50 for the day. Those are the places and the deals that we like.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So
Sweet.
your first year racing in Europe was kind of intimidating, and now
Yeah, I mean, we had I got after that first race, the second stage I was going to race in France got canceled. We ended up training in Les Houches with Seb and the whole international team there, which probably was more useful to me anyway.
right.
So I got a lot of good reps, that week, and yeah, I was pretty psyched to be a part of all that, and definitely was a little bit hungry for more. Um, so yeah, I came back this year for a little bit more. This year was a roller coaster year for me because I had a good start to the year, and then I crashed in training in early January, and
Oh,
I dislocated my shoulder. Of course, the
oh,
same one I'd already hurt once before. So I had a torn labrum. It didn't need surgery, thankfully. So I just kind of spent most of the winter rehabbing. Missed a solid 5 6 weeks of skiing right in the middle of the year, but
oh
then
my goodness.
I got well enough to keep my plans to go to Europe and just in time to get over there
I,
and
I
race, and didn't hold me back too bad.
right. I remember Stefan, our national coach. We were having a camp at a club, and he had said something about throw your body down the hill and your skis will follow. And I don't know. I got into a position that was like that, and I ended up with golfer's elbow.
Oof.
After because my skis did not follow, and I went down the course head first with my arm out, trying to flip myself over. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, let's just say I committed my body to my turns there.
right. I've often I don't know, being a phys ed teacher, I would always try to teach the kids how to tumble and roll. And when I get airborne, that's the first thing I do is cross my arms, tuck my head, and that saved my bacon a few times.
Yeah, I wish I had that much time to think in both my crashes, man. Oh my God. It's just before I knew it, I was
Oh my goodness.
shoulder smashing into the ground.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's terrible. Anyway, so you were rehabbing. That put you behind the
Yeah,
eight ball a little bit.
a little bit. Yeah, but like I said, didn't hold me back too bad. The only time I really felt pain or discomfort was kind of in the skate, obviously, and then
Right,
pulling out of the start for parallel did not feel too
right,
nice.
right.
But yeah, no,
And
it was a really great experience.
so how many races did you do this year?
Um, did the race at Bromley there, the Corey Anderson race, and then I think we had 7 races in Europe
Okay,
while we were there. Yeah,
very cool. Now, the
not too bad.
Corey Anderson Festival at Bromley, when I was there, I think I saw you 2 years ago when I was there. I'd never been down there. That was really nice.
Yeah, it's a fun event.
Yeah.
Um,
So I didn't
it's like,
realize that they had a race. Is that held like on the Sunday?
yeah, it's always the second day. It's
Okay.
like clinics and stuff the first day, and then
Right.
they do a race the second day.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right. You said you're a geologist.
Yeah.
Most of the people who I know who are geologists live in mountainous areas. Well, I guess Albany, it's the bottom end of mountainous areas.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So,
we're a good location. We're close to a lot of things, but
so what
yeah,
type
I
of?
work in environmental consulting, so I do
Okay,
a lot of like soil groundwater contamination, site investigations, remediation kind of work.
right.
Um,
You sound you're in the same job. I don't know if you know of Rick Hirsch. He's on Facebook and on Instagram.
I know the name. I don't think I know.
That's what he does. He has a business in Denver, and that's what he does. It's like hydrological geology or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of geologists who telemark.
Really?
My
Well, I guess
my advisor taught me. We used to set up the geology ski days for a while, and all the alumni and stuff like that in the area would come together. And I've met a lot over the years too. It's an interesting connection.
do you think it's because of it's a science background or because it's outdoors?
I think yeah, because you're outdoor people for the
Okay,
most part. Yeah,
very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. Now, your partner,
Amy,
Amy, she gotten into telemark skiing?
she has not.
No.
She actually started alpine skiing when we met. So as I was coming into telemark, she was coming into alpine. So that kind of kept us on the same slopes, which made it kind of fun.
Oh, very cool.
Um, so she's still working that, and I don't think she has any plans
Right.
to deviate from her trajectory.
Right. Right. Okay. So what are your plans for this upcoming year?
Coming year, I mean, I'm still rehabbing the shoulder. I'm still not at 100%. I still have some things to work out there and some strength to regain. But in the summertime, I play ultimate frisbee. I do a lot of rollerblading. I do martial arts throughout the year for my training, and then yeah, I'm hoping to get back out on the snow, obviously, as soon as I can in the winter. And with our nationals being in Colorado this year, I haven't figured out yet if I can make Europe work. That's a lot of flying. That's a lot of money. So
Right.
we'll figure that out.
And I think I saw that it's in back at Eldora.
Yeah, it's gonna be back at Eldora outside of Boulder. So that's gonna be really cool. It's a really cool mountain. We were there in 2022
Okay.
for nationals, and they put on a great event. And it's a
Do they? Yeah,
great
because you
mountain.
know what, I was when we were there in 2018 visiting Rick, and he was working, and Sean and I went for a drive. We were in Nederland,
Yep.
and I could see Eldora. I was like, oh yeah, that's where we have to go someday. But
Yeah. So yeah, we're all looking forward to getting back there.
nice, nice. All right, so I'm just trying to think. You touched a little bit on your training, because I was going to ask you about training in the off season for telemark skiing, and you talked about martial arts, roller blading, and what was the other one that you said?
I do ultimate frisbee
Oh,
too.
that's it.
Got fun
That's
little
it.
league here in Albany. Yeah.
Okay, so can you get into which one of those helped you with the different skills in skiing? Because that's not traditional, unless you do other things too for training.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'm gonna hit the gym a lot too, but
Oh, okay.
I mean, I like just for me, like going to the gym and stuff like that is just really boring. So I
Yeah.
need to be doing something fun. I love, I'm not a big runner, so ultimate frisbee gets you out there. I'm running, pretty constantly for an hour or two during those games, and
I,
that's always
I
good
used
for
to
the
teach ultimate at school, and you know what?
yeah.
I used to admire soccer players, but I think I admire ultimate players more.
Yeah, maybe because less people on the field, so you're always important to the game plan, and you got
Yeah.
to be moving and cycling. Yeah.
It may not be as big as a soccer field, but it's about 2/3 to 3/4 of a soccer pitch.
Yeah, yeah, it's a cool combination of like soccer, football, basketball.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of like I said, and like hockey too, like a lot of because you're always integral to what's going on. You can't ever like not be running and doing your part.
Yeah, it's like you're subbing, like in a hockey game. You come off for like a half a shift, and then you're back on,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, there's no sitting
Yeah, exactly. And
around.
most of our teams are not that big, so you don't really have a full set of subs. So you're all
Right,
constantly cycling through. Maybe you get a point off here or there, but yeah.
right. Very cool.
Yeah, so
And
that's really cool. And then martial arts, and I do Taekwondo. I've been doing that for over 20 years, and that's kind of the backbone of my fitness routine. Just a good all-around workout, good for strength and flexibility.
oh, very cool. Very
And then
cool.
rollerblading, obviously, I want to keep the leg muscles, the skating muscles working
Now, do you
in the off season.
rollerblade with poles or without
Not
poles?
usually.
No, not usually. Okay. So
Sometimes I do.
a lot of cardio then for
Yeah.
rollerblading, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Well, you know what? We've pretty much covered everything. Well, there you have it, folks. Another episode of the Skippy Report. Huge thank you to Stefan Bagnato for sitting down with me. This was a short and sweet one. We got through all the information real quick. And if you're looking to follow him, check out the USTSA website on the good old interweb. And you can also find Stefan on Instagram at Bagnato Stefan, BAGNATOSTEFAN, all one word. So we wish him well in prepping for the upcoming season and look forward to seeing his results. And I want to thank the listeners for sitting back and listening to this episode during the off season. Anyways, check back in a little while for another episode of the Skipper Report. Peace out.